I got inspired today to get some lubricant into my blower motor on my W124. So I'm just going to show the steps involved in getting down there. First thing obviously is remove this seal just to gain access to the left and right gutters, and these windscreen bottom seals just pop out, and if you have one of the clips break away, don't be too concerned about that because you'll have great access to rivet that back in once everything's out of the way. That's not uncommon at all. These are the clips here. So there's actually 3 on both sides, and that's not uncommon for one to break off, as you can see there. And they're just held on by 1 rivet, each of those. And then we've just got these 2 screws on that gutter, same on the other side. And you've also got these white clips, and they will also most likely break when you try and remove those. And this is the hole for one of those clips that of course broke off on the other side. So as I said, really easy to repair that problem. And then there's this front seal that just has to pop off that false firewall there. And as you can see, that's already crumbling. It's in poor condition. It's not unusual for that to break apart even more. We then need to remove these screws in this half moon section here underneath the wiper arm. You can then go ahead and consider removing this central gutter section that sits above the airbox. And they are clips on both sides. Easier said than done. I ended up using a screwdriver to pop those out, as you can see here. And they just hook underneath those gold coloured clips at the front there. Then to remove the remainder of that airbox top, we need to remove the screws that hold in that false firewall. There's also a nut that goes on the side here, and the other side there's actually a cable holder that needs to be unzip tied, and then the whole thing spun off. But my false firewall is so completely broken and falling to pieces I didn't even bother. It's already broken there anyway. And now this thing can basically come up after these 2 screws at the front are removed here. And now we have access inside. So we need to remove the wiper motor with those 2 nuts there, this clip in the middle, and there's also 2 more nuts left and right underneath that rubber seal in the middle. They're all 10mm, and there is a electrical connector on the back of the motor as well. And now you have fantastic access. So all of these clips around the actual top side of the airbox need to be popped off, and then that whole thing comes off. And what I ended up using was a sharp, pointy type tool, and then that gets behind it rather well. And as you can see, it just pops off. A small flat blade screwdriver might work as well. And when they're all off, don't forget about these 2 on the top. They need to come off as well. Then that whole thing just comes out, and there's the motor. That's what we're looking for. So you can of course try and lubricate it in situ. That's not what I was going to do today. You can see here that you don't really have great access to it. Even with a straw on your oil bottle, I don't like your chances of actually getting a good dosage of oil into the actual bushing. On this side there's like a shielding washer that stops contaminants from getting into that bushing anyway. And you really need to get behind that, and on both sides of the bushings as well, because I believe there is a wick on the inside that actually stores oil for those bushings, and eventually obviously it dries out. So yeah, you can see you've got a lot greater access once you remove it, and it's really not hard. You've just got a clip in the middle. And just looking at these brushes, you can see this motor is not long for this world anyway. They're more than half worn. On that side it's half, on this side it's probably 2/3 worn, so we're really only extending the life of an already dying motor anyway. So I have well and truly soaked both sides of that motor with oil, the bushings I mean, and now it's reinstalled. So we can go ahead and install everything as a reversal of disassembly. And you can see that I have riveted on my clips again, and that will hold that seal on quite nicely. Well, now that that unpleasantness is over, I can go ahead and firstly just check that my wiper is still operational, because I did unplug that to move the motor out of the way. And thankfully my fan is working. I'm not smelling that oil that I've placed in there. Maybe a hint of it, but hey, I don't care. I'll get used to it. Main thing is, no squeaks. Anyway, we're not performing miracles here. I know this is only a temporary fix, because once they start squeaking, you can lube them, but it's going to come back probably after months to a year. I didn't really get much more than that out of my red 124 when I lubed up that motor, and I ended up fitting a brand new one on there. But in any case, as you saw with those brushes, the end of the line is near with this motor anyway, so it should hopefully maybe last the life of the brushes, but we'll see. Only real casualties of this job is that ultra fragile plastic false firewall material that's in front of the airbox. On this car it was basically shattered and broken in multiple places, so it couldn't really get much worse. It's ready for the bin, to be honest, and of course they're no longer available, so there's not much you can do about that. It's just ultra fragile, crappy quality plastic that just breaks as soon as you look at it. But yeah, at least it's back together.